So one of the stranger games at the latest Nintendo Direct was a game called Tokyo Scramble that showcased a weird game that kind of reminded me a little bit of Tecmo's Deception. I didn't think graphically it looked very nice, but I did say that if the game was cheap enough, I would pick it up and check it out. I do kind of like weirder, quirkier games. Tokyo Scramble came out on February 11th with a $30 price tag, and I was like, okay, I'll pick it up. I'll check it out. I like dinosaurs. I like survival horror. I kind of like the Tecmo Deception series where you have different traps and you're trying to get through different areas, and that's your main convenience of doing it. Maybe I'll like this game. And I've been playing it for about 2 hours, and well, I don't like this game. So we're going to talk about Tokyo Scramble, see if it's maybe a game that you would be interested in, or see if it's a game that you should probably avoid. So the story of Tokyo Scramble is amazing because there's literally like a 15-second cutscene where you're playing as this lady. You're on a train. The train like crashes, and now you're underground. And there's weird dinosaur creatures and Mothman creatures and bug creatures. And you don't really have any way to defend yourself, so you have to avoid them. Now, in theory, I don't think that that's a terrible gameplay premise. You know, being able to not have any sort of weapons or anything like that. Like, I get it. You're relying on traps, environmental stuff. And if done well, it can actually make for a really fun game. But that's kind of the problem here. That's kind of the issue, is that I don't think that they did this very well as far as the different gameplay mechanics you get. So you have a wristband that you're wearing that ends up getting a name, and that wristband is like your go-to thing now. Like that's your new best friend, and for some reason, the wristband that you have can interact with the environment. It can do things like hit alarms, activate different sort of vending machines, activate escalators, all sorts of weird stuff, which, if you really think about it, that's pretty weird because, like, the Tokyo subway system would just be ran by people with these wrist braces. Like, I don't really understand, like, I don't know, maybe there was a plot point that I missed with that, but I don't really understand why my wristband is being able to control like everything going on here. But hey, you know, maybe that makes sense. You know, I've never been to Japan or anything like that. Maybe that is indeed a thing here. So, like I said, you don't have any weapons. You're relying on your environment. And the way that the missions take place is basically you start a mission. There's a little bit of story, and we'll talk a little bit more about the story in just a minute. And then you are put into an area that has these creatures in it, and your goal is to essentially do minimal tasks or get to the end of the goal and get to the next area and stuff like that. Now, these creatures all have different sorts of ways to be able to detect you. Some of them are based on visual. Some of them are based on sound. Some of them have stronger sound than visual, so on and so forth and stuff like that. Like, I guess it gives it a little bit of creativity in there, but I definitely feel like the enemy AI is very all over the place. Like, there will be some times where I'm like, all right, this thing isn't going to see me, and then it sees me, or it hears me. And then there are times where I'm like, oh man, this thing is going to see me or hear me, and then it doesn't see me or hear me. And it's very confusing because it seems like there's like no sort of consistency. Now, like I said, the game does try to use its environment in order to do things, but it's so like scripted that it kind of takes away the fun. Like, this is clearly an elevator thing. It's not like you're coming across elevators all the time. This one elevator is simply here in order to take out that one dinosaur creature. And I feel like if they had sprinkled this kind of throughout the game, if they made it so that you had some traps at your disposal and things like that, then it could have made for a bit more of an interesting thing. Why can my wristband activate this escalator? And more importantly, when the hell did dinosaurs become obsessed with escalators and treat them like a treadmill? Like, that is a running thing throughout this game. You will see it in the next area, too. There are escalators, and when you find an escalator and you turn it on, it'll run there forever. I could sit here for 10 hours, and this dinosaur thing will be running here forever. It's very strange. The whole thing is very strange. You do have a slight attack with a flash that you have on your wristband that you can level up and charge up by finding little stations within the levels and stuff like that. Once again, we're getting a good solid workout in on this treadmill. Like, this game, it's just kind of all over the place. And when you have a game like this is something that I think, maybe eventually people will find this to be like a hidden gem. Like 15 years from now, Metal Jesus comes out in his wheelchair. He's like, hey guys, Metal Jesus here. Today we're going to be talking about Tokyo Scramble for the Nintendo Switch 2, a real hidden gem. And like, I could see that happening. I could see this game even having like a cult following. But there's lots of things holding this game back. The inconsistency of things as far as using your environment and being able to do things, it all feels very scripted. There's no sort of free-flowing thing. Once you figure out how to get through an area in a timely manner, you could speedrun these things. Like, you could go through the area in a fraction of the time. And, I mean, I guess that's because now you have a little bit more knowledge. But it does seem like it's kind of trial and error-based, not necessarily skill-based. Performance-wise, like, you could see it's kind of an ugly game. It's only a $30 game. It's a budget game, so I get it. But, like, the visuals aren't that nice. The frame rate is kind of all over the place. At times, it looks good. At times, I shouldn't say good. At times, it's acceptable. Sometimes, it looks pretty wonky and stuff like that, especially with the frame rate when there's a lot of stuff going on around screen. Like, here's Mothman Prophecy. I don't know. And these are the death scenes. Wow. Those are awesome. Those are super cool. Like, you couldn't even give me, like, a cool death scene depending on the creature that's attacking me. I'm not asking for much here, am I? There are budget games that I have played throughout the years that are super fun that have a lot of character to them. I think of Obscure on the PlayStation 2. That was a game that had a ton of character, and that was a budget game, physical release, and it was super fun. It was a survival horror game, co-op based. It was unique. It obviously didn't have all the bells and whistles of the other survival horror games, but you know what the biggest problem with this game for me is the story, and like, I know that kind of makes no sense, but what happens is you're able to contact like your friends as you get deeper into the game and you're having these conversations. And these conversations, mind you, you just went down in a train into a tunnel with dinosaur-like creatures. So what's your focus going to be? What's your main priority going to be? I need to avoid these dinosaur creatures and stuff like that. Instead, your friends are having conversations with you like, I can't believe you're moving to America. Does so-and-so like me? I want her to like, shut up. What the fuck are you on about? Are you out of your goddamn mind? I am dealing with dinosaurs. And the main character is like talking to him, like engaging these conversations. And I'm just like, what the hell are you doing here? Whenever you beat a level, there is sort of like a thing that gives you like a score. There's 2 difficulties that you could play on. I don't know why you would want to play on the harder one or anything like that. This game is just weird. It's a weird mess to me, and I don't really care for it. Like, I'm making this video, and part of me was kind of curious to see where the story goes, but the more I play the game, the more I don't want to play the game, so I kind of just want to delete it off of my Switch 2 at this point in time, and then just essentially move on with my life. Play something else. Play something that's maybe a little bit more enjoyable. Play something that's kind of more fun, because I think that the idea is cool. I just think the execution is so poor. Here's a romance aside. Oh, I hope my friend can get laid while I'm trying to avoid fucking dinosaurs. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments section down below. Are you a fan of Tokyo Scramble? There's also a game share feature where your friends can like help control you, because I guess you hate your friends and you want them to play a subpar game too. But I don't know. John asked me if I wanted to do that with him, and I said no. You can go to hell, Spawnwave. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to like, comment, and share. Hit the bell as well. And as always, I'll catch you guys on the next video. Later.